So welcome everybody. My name's Carly. I'm coming to you from Kingston, Ontario, where I am in my bedroom, cozied up, and this is one of the only quiet places in my home. So I'll invite you to do the same, to find a nice quiet spot. And if that's not available to you today, then maybe you have some headphones you can pop in and find a comfortable place to sit. And this is usually the time in my meditation practice where maybe it's the first time in the day that I really had a chance to check in with my physical body and how I'm feeling. So if you find yourself in a seated position and something feels a little achy or feels a little stiff, feel free to move there, roll there, take a couple of breaths, maybe a big stretch to open up the shoulders. And as you're practicing as well for the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, if you find that there's a craving for a little bit of physical movement, welcome that connection and honor that if you need to. So sometimes I think there's a stigma that when you're practicing meditation, you have to be like very stiff and not moving. But I think it's probably more distracting to have that little itch that you don't scratch the whole time. So feel free to serve any little physical needs that you need to, and then come back to your meditation practice. So I'll introduce the practice as I do every time that we come together, where the meditation practice is really a combination of two skills, which is mindfulness, or bringing your attention from all of the distractions that are happening through your senses and in the back of your mind, and sort of weeding those out to focus your attention, and concentration, which is your ability to stay focused on that kind of singular path for as long as possible. So here, we'll start off with the most basic of meditations, which is a connection to your breath. I love to practice breathing-based meditations because your breath is always there, whether you're on a plane or, well, who's on a plane these days, but whether you're taking class or laying in bed, you don't have to have any special tools or props. So once you've found yourself in a seated, comfortable position, or lying down if you're not going to fall asleep, just take your hands and bring them sort of near your clavicle or your collarbones across your chest. You could close through the eyes if that helps to limit any visual input. And as you breathe in, without trying to change your breath, just notice as you breathe in underneath your hands the gentle rise and fall. Breathing in and out through the nose if you can. And there isn't much effort required with the breath here. We're just seated. So it's an easy, comfortable, soundless, effortless breath. Maybe notice how this attention on the breath, or this little practice, has the effect of slowing down time. And you're making a choice here. You'll hear other things around you. Your mind could be doing other things. Your hands could be busy with other things. But just for these few moments, choosing to focus on the breath. And then taking your two hands and sliding them just where your rib cage starts, kind of right in the middle of your back, but on the sides of your body here, where you can feel the bony ribs. And doing the same thing here as you breathe in, maybe you can feel just a gentle pressure from inside of the body pushing out against your hands. And if you find that your mind is overly active this midday, the next time that you feel an exhalation coming through in the back of your mind, just count 1, and then 2, 3. You're just going to gently keep count of those exhalations until you lose count and start over again at 1. And keeping your hands around the same place, but instead of having the fingers pointing forward, just flip your hands so that the fingers are wrapping more around the back of your body if you can. If that's not comfortable for you, then maybe instead connecting to something you can lean upon, like a wall or the back of your chair. And continue the same visualization, trying to really feel that expansiveness now into the back of the ribs. We're not really trying to force the breath into places that it isn't already going, but the lungs span such a large area internally in your body. So here we're just trying to connect to the capacity of the lungs and notice that little bit of stretch in the back of your ribs on your inhale. And then lastly, taking your hands and resting them down very low on your belly, like lower than your belly button. Seeing if as you breathe in and the organs push downwards, you can feel that little expansion right down in the base of your body. And in your mind's eye, visualizing your torso almost like a cylinder, where there's a top up near the clavicle, the bottom where your hands are now, and then all the way around the front, sides, and back of your body. And just like a balloon, when you blow air in, how it fills the entire balloon, visualizing that cylinder expanding with each exhale. And when the air is released, that it goes back to a smaller shape on the exhale. Inhaling, visualizing the cylinder expanding. Again, there's no need to take big breaths or gulping breaths or large inhales. Just noticing the capacity of your breath to fill the cylinder of your torso. And of those 4 places, if there's 1 or 2 places that feel like it's harder to connect to that expansion, then maybe you can move your hands back to one or two of those 4 places and use that tactile sensation to try to invite more breath into that space. And we'll spend the next couple of minutes simply doing that, visualizing that cylinder expanding like a balloon blowing up and then moving back to its shape on your exhale without too much effort. Let it be easy and comfortable, soundless. If your mind becomes distracted, just go right back to where we started and continuing this process, maybe counting the exhales if you'd like a little extra focus or attention until you lose count and start over again at 1 or until you hear my voice again. Letting go of that counting on your next exhalation. Feeling the foundation beneath you, maybe the floor under your seat, connecting to your feet on the ground. If you're sitting on or near the ground, maybe taking your hands and touching your own feet or ankles. Opening your eyes and taking a couple of breaths to integrate the mindfulness that you've found in this practice with your grounded present self. Take a moment or two to offer yourself a word of gratitude for having made time for this simple, such important practice. And you're welcome to join me in sharing gratitude to the people upon whose land we live and practice today. Gratitude to the other people who shared this practice with us, either live or later watching the recording. And of course, my gratitude to all of you for taking time for your wellness and care in this moment. I'll invite you back again next week at 11:30 for our mindful moment. And until then, I hope you have an amazing week.